Okay, then we are live, and thanks everyone who's joining us. I know I can already see a few comments where people who had been waiting are saying you are late today. No, sir, we're not late. We don't come sharply at 1 p.m. We usually
Late
come
today.
about 1:02 or 1:03, roughly around that much time, isn't
You
it?
know, Nikhil, on Sports Talk, when we usually or generally
Your
or
voice, sir, your
occasionally,
voice is not clear, Rahul. Your voice, sir, there is a bit of a disturbance there. You
okay,
want to? Now it's better. Now it's
uh,
better. Go ahead.
okay. So occasionally, when we used to get late on Sports Talk, people used to say change your the name of your channel to Late Tak, not Sports Tak. And today, you said somebody
It's late
mentioned
today.
late
Late
today.
today. Uh,
But we are not late, are we?
no, that's what couple of minutes we. That's why I said 1 p.m. Nahi, we come about 1:02, 1:03. Usually that's the time that we come live. So 2-3 minutes here. Come on, have a heart.
Exactly.
Utkarsh Madan, how's your health? He's asking me, sir. My health is the same as it was yesterday. I was fine yesterday. I'm fine today. I just have a little bit of cough and cold. But so that I can go to office as fast as possible. I got my second test done this morning. The guy had come home, so I just got it tested, so that if I have
I have
a
my fingers crossed.
come on, I tested negative already. So what makes you say now I'll test positive? Huh?
By the way, do you know Dada Saurav Ganguly's daughter has also
Uh-huh.
tested positive,
Yeah,
unfortunately, and she
yeah.
was scheduled to leave for England because she's studying there. So she
Hmm.
was scheduled to leave in the third week of this month. Unfortunately, now she's tested positive. But I think the government regulations have changed. You need to do a 5-day quarantine, and then you're good enough to get going or get an RT-PCR test.
Yeah, true. But now, and the interesting thing is because you're talking about COVID, it takes time. So Dada has tested negative,
Yeah.
and now his daughter has tested positive. So sometime
Dada has
the
tested negative. This I'm
negative,
not
yeah.
aware of.
I just read this today that he's tested negative this today itself. He must have done
Okay.
a test today. So he's tested negative and his daughter is tested positive. But I think sometimes there is that overlap, where that spread of infection happens. That's why Rahul is keeping his fingers crossed that even though I tested negative 3-4 days ago, I've got another test done today
The entire department actually is praying that
that I test
Nikhil
negative.
doesn't test. Yeah, that you don't test positive.
No, but they have
Anyways,
tested negative. No? A lot of them have tested negative.
I think just one of them because I can't see majority of the faces. Everybody is tested negative. Everybody. Arey wah. Everybody is
Then
negative.
I couldn't be positive because if I was positive, then I would have spread that to most people who I was interacting with at the desk, right? So I doubt. It was
I
just a
think
genuine cough and cold.
majorly you were interacting with two people. Thankfully, as of now, I'm fine.
Both are
And
negative.
the other, yes. But Nikhil is a positive man. His blood group is also B positive.
But in
So
this
the
case, I'm negative.
motto in his life is always be positive.
But in this case, I'm negative.
No, no, we are hoping and we are praying that you will test negative for this thing, but a positive result that we are hoping
Hmm.
should come from
There's a
Joburg.
lot of disturbance today, Rahul, in your audio because I
Okay,
think how it happens that those when you have a very bad line on the phone and that
okay. So
disturbance
can you just hold the fort for 30 seconds? I'll be back
comes.
then. Okay.
Okay, let's do that. Yeah, disconnect. Uh, we'll wait for Rahul to get back. And meanwhile, I'll just read some of your comments. Someone is saying Rahul sir is looking fantastic. Priyanshu, I'll let Rahul sir know that. Then will Pujara get next match because of his 35? For sure, he will get a next match. But why do you think it will only be 35. I hope he can get more. But just to let you know that the Indian team, it's a crucial day for Indian cricket. It's going to be a big day for Indian cricket, because even now, I think the test match hangs in a balance. It's 58 odd runs is what India is leading by. So I'm effectively saying, I'm not looking at the overall score. I'm effectively saying it is 58 for 2 for India at the moment. You've lost your two informed batsmen in Mayank Agarwal and KL Rahul, the two batsmen that have got you the most runs, other than Ravichandran Ashwin. And now it is really up to that middle order, the middle order that we had been doubting up until now, because of them not performing very well in the previous few test matches. They really have to step up. Also, the other thing we haven't forgotten is the fact that there's no Virat Kohli in this test match, and him not being there also makes a major difference, because the kind of experience that he brings is very crucial. He may not be amongst a lot of big runs, but still the kind of experience that he brings with him, that India would be missing. So everyone will have to chip in. Who knows? We got a few comments yesterday saying, who knows? Shardul Thakur also comes and gets you a lot of runs with the bat. Considering that he's had an outstanding game with the ball, so you never know with him. But before that, you would just want to concentrate on Ajinkya Rahane and Cheteshwar Pujara. Also remember, all the good work that they did yesterday is now all behind them, because it's going to be a fresh start. So you have to start from scratch, and we know that initially the first few overs, like any batsman, they may also be tentative. But what was good to see was the change of approach of the two Indian batsmen in Cheteshwar Pujara, Ajinkya Rahane. Rahane, though, to be fair to him, even in Centurion, played an aggressive knock in the first innings, was trying to get his runs quickly. Cheteshwar Pujara, we know from the past that he gets into his shell, but we did see a change of strategy on that. So, Rahul, that's what I was telling. Welcome back, and I hope your audio is much better now. I'm at home, just for those of you joining us. I'm at home because of certain protocols that we are following in office, that anyone who has any minor symptom also must not come to work, and I have minor symptom of cold and cough, so it's best that I stay at home. But Rahul is fit and hale and hearty, so he's in office. Hopefully, if the test match goes in to tomorrow, I should get to office. But for that, the Indian team would have to bat well. So what I was speaking to our family, Rahul, was that at the moment seems like it's still very close. Yes, Rahane and Pujara got you some runs, but the game could go either ways. What we heard from the South African camp last night was, even they had, and this is what we had been talking on Sports Today, even they had that 200 run mark in their mind. So anything below 200, they feel confident, they said. Anything over 200, Keegan Peterson had come actually to the press conference. He said anything below 200, they'd be confident. If the target goes beyond 200, and the further it goes from 200, the game will keep going away from them. So India to even get to 200 is still a fair distance away.
Well, something very basic. You also mentioned that both Cheteshwar Pujara and Ajinkya Rahane, they'll have to start afresh this morning, especially while resuming his innings. Rahane, off late, we've seen that he's the one who gets troubled while resuming his innings. Rahane, I thought, was ready to negotiate the last few overs yesterday, but Pujara played very un-Pujara sort of innings. Perhaps that was the way. And as you yesterday also you mentioned, he may have taken a leaf from Ashwin's book, that get runs on the board. It's not about time anymore. It's about, because we know that the one batting side is getting dismissed, is getting out in less than a day. So getting runs on the board is more important, not just for the team, but for them as well. I'm talking about Cheteshwar Pujara and Ajinkya Rahane. Ajinkya Rahane played that fabulous knock of 48. It may seem that he just scored 48 in that last test match, but in the context of the game, 327, 300 plus score against a bowling team like India, there's a psychological edge that the Indian team would get when you post something like 300. Here again, 200. Now that South Africans have themselves admitted that they have something like 200 sort of a score in their mind, so that means the moment you go beyond 200, it will start adding pressure to South Africans, and for that India will also have to start the day well enough. Why? Because that again, that one session, that first session, just in case if these two batsmen get dismissed, then we always have our lower order, and of course we also have somebody like Shardul Thakur, who missed out with the bat in the last innings, but I'm sure with the kind of confidence that he would now have after those 7 wickets, he will relish an opportunity to score with the bat too.
Lavish Khatri is saying that hoping to see a good knock from them. Vaibhav is saying he's talking about Rahane and Pujara, good knock from them is what Lavish Khatri said. But Vaibhav Tarangi is saying, I think the way this wicket is playing, even a target of 175-80 is going to be tricky for Proteas. Vaibhav, I agree with you, and we've been saying this,
Absolutely.
that anything that is going to be over 150 is going to be very, very tricky. But even then, there lies an opportunity for South Africa to win, and I think South Africa is also seeing it that way. They will put their head down. Also, we keep talking about the inexperienced batting, but now they're beginning to show some sort of form. Dean Elgar is showing that he can hang around for a number of deliveries. Keegan Peterson was the highest scorer in the last inning for South Africa, and we were praising him very high in terms of his technique and the way he bats. So he could there. Temba Bavuma, I think, is the number one guy. I think even
True.
now you have to focus on him. He's already got 2 half centuries and was 35 not out in that second inning. So
Right.
he's been almost invincible at the moment. So, it's not that easy a batting lineup. So I think 200 is what they'll look at. I'm just looking at the records. The highest target successfully chased by South Africa in the fourth innings of a test match at Joburg is 217. They got that against New Zealand in 2006. So if like on a ground like this where batting is tough, 217 is the best that South Africa has managed, and this is when even their batting lineup looked invincible. When they had the stars in their batting lineup, even that into account, 217 is best that they've managed. So that itself would give you a lot of confidence, or the Indian team a lot of confidence once the target goes past
And this
200.
was way back in
2006 that they managed
and,
to do
and
this.
we all know the kind of batting lineup at that
Yeah,
time
exactly.
that South Africa had.
Yeah, and the highest, but that is not to say that 300 plus totals also haven't been chased here. Australia chased 310 in 2011. That was, of course, against South Africa, the home team in Joburg. So that sort of targets have also been chased here. However, having said that, conditions changed drastically.
Right.
Last time the test match that happened there, India played, that was an unplayable pitch, poor pitch as it was rated. This time it's not poor, but it's also not the best pitch, to be honest.
True.
You already started saying uneven bounce. So looking at whatever we've seen till now, I think over 200 India would feel reasonably confident. Over 250, I'd be able to bet my bottom dollar that it's going to be a winning total. What do you say?
It's going to be. Yeah, 250. In fact, I think one of our friends said that 180. We've been talking about this
Yeah.
180 sort of score would be tricky one. The runs would be on offer. It's a difficult pitch, and day by day, the pitch and the wicket is, of course, deteriorating. And in South Africa, what we usually see is, I'm sorry,
Oh, I
this
see
is
some
not
symptoms
this is not
after
that
all.
cough. Don't worry, this is not that cough.
What is this
Okay.
cough or that cough? Is a corona
Uh,
cough different from this cough or?
No, this is just I think something got stuck anyways while I was speaking.
Okay.
So I'm saying that runs usually what happens in South Africa is you have a keeper, you have three slips, a gully, somebody at short leg, then a square leg. So your offside is not heavily protected. You'll have just one or two fielders. So every time somebody pitches it up, the batsman has a temptation to go for runs. I think Chiteshwar Pujara, although the line that the bowlers with that kind of a field, the line that bowler would prefer would be on the middle stump or on the leg side, just or a leg slip also can come into play. But you don't have that much protection on the offside. So I think there will be run. It is up to you whether you want to accept the challenge or not. See, I think that is one of the reasons why Virat Kohli got dismissed in the last test, in the manner he was eventually dismissed. because
Mm.
you don't have those many fielders on the on offside, and the moment the ball, you see the ball is not over pitched, but it's there for the taking on the offside, you go for a drive, and that is a temptation that one can either avoid, or whether somebody can take that challenge. Yesterday we saw somebody like Chiteshwar Pujara took that challenge, but that can be very tricky. So but the good thing, the reward for that risk is runs. But then there's the flip side also. The moment, if, just in case you get an edge, you can be dismissed also, and Rahane also will have to see that whether he wants to take that challenge or not. So it's going to be, I think, first session, or the first hour of the first session is going to be crucial for India. If these both these batsmen can stay there for that 1 hour, I think India should go into the come out as the winners from this particular test match.
Hmm. All the comments that I'm seeing, surprisingly or maybe unsurprisingly, I don't know. Many are saying, I could see a comment saying, collapse loading. Somebody is saying, eat, sleep,
I think
drink, but collapse will come. So it seems like fans and viewers who are watching, they're all very confident of an Indian collapse.
no, Nikhil, it could see still we are left with two innings in this test match, and
Hmm.
patience. You have been rewarded for your patience in this test match. Last test match, India were 272 for 3 on day one. Next day, they come out to bat. They were all out for 327. 55 runs they could add for the loss of 7 wickets. Here,
Yeah.
twice in the
Mhm.
South African innings, you would see Elgar and Keegan Peterson. They had a very decent partnership of, I think, 80 odd runs, and suddenly they got India got 3 wickets. Then once again they had a partnership developing. So collapse can happen. It can happen. It has happened to India in the first test
Yeah.
match. It has happened to India in the first innings of this test match. It happened to South Africa. Here also it can happen against for India, but it can also happen for South Africa.
Mm. I'd have to agree. You keep saying that I'm very positive, but I also somewhere sense that there will be a collapse, maybe a mini collapse. Like you may lose a bunch of quick wickets suddenly, maybe in the first session. Then someone comes and rescues you towards the later half of the innings. That is also possible, or at least one of these two batsmen stays and there's a minor collapse there, and then he gets you too many runs. So I think that is something that we'll definitely see. Somebody had written at the start that we will see India to bat the whole day. That, sir, I think is the least likely of any possible result. I don't think
True.
that is going to happen. I doubt India is going to bat the whole day.
I
What would be,
I have a question.
hmm.
Um, do you think we'll get a result today?
uh, Possible, but I don't know why I have a feeling we may get the result first session tomorrow. It seems more likely to me at the moment. Again, I'll tell you why I'm saying that. We saw about 11 wickets fall yesterday, and right now there are 18 wickets in play. And I think it'll be around the 11 wicket mark. Maybe it could go up to 12, 13, or maybe 15 also, I'm saying, or could be less than 11 to about 7, 8, 9, or something like that. So if I was just taking an average, I think the more possible thing is that you may get a result first session tomorrow rather than today. For it to happen today, then
Okay.
it has to be a harakiri sort of a situation where there are various times in the play where a lot of wicket happens and not one collapse. You'll have to have at least a couple of collapses for
Would
that
I
to happen here.
would I be wrong if I say that if the match does get over by today in the evening, India will lose, and in case what you are saying, tomorrow, if the match goes to the first session on day 4, India will win that test match.
Yeah, I mean, seems the most likely, but it could be either situation. Let's say if it was to finish early today, as in, let's say if India bat till T and the target is about 170 or something, what if South Africa fold up in that one session? Unlikely, but I'm saying there could be all sorts of
Exactly.
scenario. But you're right. If the match was to finish today, then seems more likely result could be South Africa winning, because India will have to collapse, which means the target may be small, and then South Africa could chase that, because two major collapses happening may be the most unlikely thing. So right now there are too many ifs and buts and too many uncertain scenarios. But most likely result I see on the next day. That's tomorrow. Seems to be the most likely day that you're going to get a result. Having said that, but I also agree that there will be a few minor collapses. What would be interesting is because we got so many questions on Rishabh Pant earlier also, Rahul, when you're talking about it. I
Hmm.
would love to see his approach. And
His
looking at how
approach.
Pujara has got runs, how Ashwin got you runs, I think this could be a Rishabh Pant sort of a day. He's that one guy we've spoken about it earlier who can
Typical
turn the
Rishabh
game,
Pant.
yeah, turn its game on the head with one session. So if he has that one good session of with his own style of play, then the game completely goes in India's favor. But so I would like him to come and play that attacking game. That'd be interesting.
Well, that could be the approach, not just for Rishabh Pant. He might be advised in the dressing room by somebody, some of his senior colleagues, that you
Yeah.
can actually go and play that sort of an innings, because a quick fire 50, 60 can actually turn the game on its head, and India might feel a lot safer once the innings get over with those 60, 70 odd runs from Rishabh Pant, because a target of 220 plus, I think, could be very, very, very difficult. 250 could be beyond reach, to be very honest. I think this first session, I don't know, I somehow get a feeling that this partnership would be very, very important. Otherwise, there's a very decent chance that India might just fold up in this session itself. Although I
Agreed.
wouldn't want that to happen.
Agreed. I agree with you. But I don't know. There's also a feeling that I'm getting that the partnership may not last long. That you will see one early wicket
This
today.
is B. This is B positive. This is Nikhil Nas with a blood group B positive.
But I have said something which is not positive.
Exactly. That is what I'm saying. But you're right. We've seen the nature of the wicket. We've seen the nature of the bowling attack that both teams have, and the batting. How the batting has fared so far. In fact, for both the teams. So it could well be a first session. India might not be able to last this particular session, but let's hope for the best, because you have two of the most experienced batsmen at the crease. In fact, these are the two most experienced, after Virat, of course. Um, they are the two most experienced batsmen, and let's see what they can do. We are hoping, because we've been talking about Chiteshwar Pujara and Ajinkya Rahane, that they are battling for their respective places in the team. But
Yeah.
it is us, it is we who are talking about. The fans have been talking about. What is the message? I was just wondering, trying to think that what is the message or the mood in the dressing room? uh, would Cheteshwar Pujara and Ajinkya Rahane really be feeling the heat? What if there is no danger to their place? Because at the end of the
No,
day, you
no,
also
no.
have to you
I
also have
can't.
to
I
realize.
can't believe that. I
Fair
can't
enough.
believe that.
No, no,
That
I
I'm
completely
sure they
understand.
know. No matter how much you say we are not letting the outside noise come in, I'm sure they know the pressure is there. And even if outside noise is not being allowed to come in, they themselves know their scores. They know. I mean, for what better signal than Ajinkya Rahane not playing that test match? I know they came up with some niggle or something. They said that he's not available, but everyone knew that he had to make space at that time when Virat Kohli came back and Shreyas Iyer played. So there was enough indication. Here he's played because of the experience he's had in South Africa. So back of their mind, both of them know that they haven't been getting runs consistently. There are batsmen who are waiting on the sideline. Rohit Sharma is going to come back and then start
But how
opening.
sure you are about Shreyas Iyer's ability on
I'm
these
not.
but in
I'm
on
not.
these kind of tracks?
I'm not. I'm not saying that that would be the right move. But all I'm saying is the pressure is there. So they know that they right now knives are out, so someone is going to come and take my place. What happens to Shreyas Iyer is his own destiny, and we'll find out in the next 8-10 months of when he plays. But by that time, like Murli Vijay, at one time you couldn't think that he cannot be part of this Indian team. He was your number one opener. Then came phases where he wasn't getting runs. Suddenly goes out. Now we have so many other options. We've completely forgotten about a Murli Vijay, right, to open. When we talk about opener, we are thinking of Mayank Agarwal should be pushed at 3. Shubman Gill is also there. Prithvi may start getting runs. You might start reconsidering him. So many options have come. So I'm saying sometimes this happens. Another guy comes, takes your place. Whether he performs or not is another matter. But the guy who he replaced, you quickly forget as soon as he reaches
No,
34, 35, which is
fair
not
enough.
fair.
No,
What
I'm
happens?
I'm just I'm saying that maybe this is just the outside noise. Uh, Pujara
No,
and
I
Rahane
doubt that.
might be
I
feeling
think
the heat, might be feeling the pressure from outside. But what if somebody from the team management would have spoken to them and would have actually realized the fact that these two guys, they've every time they've in fact every time India has done well overseas in the last 14 odd months, these
hmm.
are the two guys who've contributed to the cause.
No, I agree, but I can't believe that they wouldn't know that they are on notice. They know it. See, I'm sure team management has given them confidence. We know this for a fact. We know that, and that's the noises that the team management is also making in press conferences. But somewhere down the line, they know their necks are on the line. I mean, you don't need rocket science to understand that. Even if they are
Okay.
playing, they know runs are not coming. I'm
uh,
sure they've understood that as well. Someone had asked
Nikhil,
which team. Sorry. Anish
uh,
had asked for a long time, which team do you prefer, 2018 or 2021, about South Africa? I'll quickly answer that. I prefer the 2018 team. I'm just going to name a few players who were part of that team are not here. That's why I'll tell you why I prefer that. That had AB de Villiers, that had Hashim Amla, that had Vernon Philander, that had Mone Mokel. So 4 or 5
and
players
my
that I can
favorite,
think of. Who?
Dale's team.
Dale Steyn, yeah. But
Even though he got injured, yeah, he
correct,
got
he got
injured,
injured.
yeah, but still he was
Yeah,
there.
yeah, he was there.
And
Absolutely.
you've got a couple of super chats also, but
Okay,
before that,
that's fantastic.
Anurag Kumar is sending his love from Kathmandu, Nepal, and
Oh, Anurag,
Anish.
Anurag, I want to just say something to Anurag. He's from Kathmandu. Kasto छ तपाईँ मलाई पनि नेपाली कुरा बुझ्न आउँछ त तपाईँ हाम्रो प्रोग्राम देख्दैछ काठमाडौँ. I mean, I can speak little bit of Nepalese, so I thought I
Yeah,
must
yeah.
give him
Do
some
you
love.
know how many subscribers you've earned from Nepal now?
I don't know,
You,
but I can talk. I can do a Nepalese broadcast with them.
huh?
So
Yeah,
yeah, little bit.
this is interesting. I didn't know this side of you. And Arnab Pal Singh was Ajinkya Rahane sent in as the night watchman. Anyways,
Come on,
I'll
yeah. That's a nasty comment. Very nasty comment. Yeah. Yeah, you should appreciate the fact that he decided to go out. He could have taken the option of a night watchman. He didn't.
exactly,
That's
exactly.
nasty. Neeraj
Nimrat,
Shrestha, namaste from Nepal. Kasto cha tapai
Nimrat,
dai.
Nimrat from Canada
Yeah.
is saying, I don't know if it is he or she, but I'll go with Nimrat as she. So she's saying honest and unbiased analysis. Keep up the good work, guys. Nimrat, irrespective of your gender, um, thank you very much.
No,
This
and
only
if
motivates us.
Nimrat is such a Punjabi name, so I can even say something to her in Punjabi. Maybe we
Yes,
learn a
that's
lot
why
of Punjabi followers as well.
you
है ना?
already, you already know your Punjabi is what
My
not.
Punjabi is more fluent than my Nepalese. That I can say.
It has to be.
My, yeah.
Siddharth Sharma.
But that's my mother. हाँ सिद्धार्थ शर्मा ने क्या कहा है?
Siddharth Sharma is saying that BCCI should have an iron fist. He's saying that why doesn't BCCI ban those players who become unfit for senators for 2 years? For 2 years, if you are unavailable, you are unfit. Okay, but always remain fit for IPL. Have franchisees become more powerful than BCCI, or is it all about brokra money? Come on, Nikhil.
Yeah, Siddharth,
You'll
what can
have
I
to
say?
answer
But
this.
I agree with you that you have to come down harsh on if you see a pattern of players not playing international cricket and continually getting injured for, especially for senators tours, this is something that the BCCI must look at. I completely agree with you. Yeah, that's a serious thing. We used to see that earlier when players used to miss out on Ranji Trophy and then be available for IPL. That trend was also bad enough, but now we are also seeing players not being unfit during some foreign tours, but then being available for IPL franchises. Yes, absolutely. That's something. But see, that only BCCI would know, because they have a medical team in place and they can find out how genuine the injuries are. Sometime for us sitting outside, someone says injury, we only take BCCI's word for it. We cannot ourselves authenticate the kind of injury, but BCCI can. So if they do see this trend where sometimes a player is trying to sham missing out on certain important tours, I think, yeah, that's a very important thing. But this can only be done from the back end, from the BCCI, that has all the resources to really find out whether a player is feigning injury or whether he's genuinely injured.
Interesting, because even BCCI, at least the selectors didn't know about Hardik's status as far as his injury was concerned, because he was selected for the T20 World Cup, then IPL he didn't play a few matches, and BCCI, the selectors at least didn't know what was happening, because they were under the impression that he was completely fit and he could bowl. But then they realized that not just that he's not bowling, he's not even playing he didn't even play the first three matches of the UAE leg. So yes, but I don't know how you keep a check on all these things, because you have some uh, big high profile players, um, who earlier at least wouldn't even bother to go to NCA. Now that you have somebody like VVS Lakshman.
Yes, that's
You had earlier, you had Rahul Dravid. In fact, Rahul Dravid was very upset with the fact that some of the players wouldn't come to NCA to get their rehab done. Rahul Dravid had sent a stinker, in fact, an email to the BCCI complaining about this.
Mm. Absolutely. No, no, no. Very valid point. And I think slowly and gradually, with such stalwarts in charge like VVS Lakshman at the NCA and Rahul Dravid, being in charge of the Indian team, I think these things will be streamlined. And I think there'll be a far greater scrutiny as to which player is missing out what and his injury. That is something that is to be looked at very carefully. We can wrap up, I think, Rahul, because the match has started. I'm so excited to be seeing this. A lot of love from my Punjabi brothers who've said that they are Punjabi and ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਚੰਗੀ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਹੋ. Thank you ji. Punjabi is my mother tongue, so I grew up with speaking Punjabi at home. So that's why. How many languages do I know, Anurag ji? I know. English and Hindi and Punjabi and
No foreign
Nepalese,
language?
what I can
Oh,
speak.
Nepalese.
Yeah, which I can speak. No, Nepalese is also an Indian language, by the way. It's one of the official languages of India
Well,
too, because it's spoken in a lot
mm,
of areas like Darjeeling and all.
yes.
So those I know a little bit. I can speak very basic Marathi as well, like very minimal, but I can understand it pretty well. I can understand Bengali. I can't speak it very well. That's it.
Yeah, having spent so many years in journalism, I'm sure we all can understand Bengali.
Yes, because there's so many Bengalis around. But I spent 4 years in Calcutta, so that helped me understand a Bengali bit more. But
Uh,
you're right, a lot of Bengalis in our field.
Marathi, you must have spent, I think, a couple of years in Pune, so you would
Not
know
couple. I've
Marathi
spent
also.
about 10 years. 10 years in Pune. My
10
family is
years.
there. My mother, my sister,
Oh,
everyone stays in Pune. My house, ancestral house
oh.
is there now. Not
Listen, how
ancestral.
many houses do you have in this country?
No, parents' house. Yeah, parents' house. Parents' houses.
Whatever it is, parents, they are your parents, so that
Yeah,
house is
but
also
their
yours.
house.
You won't say you would also, यार मैं घर जा रहा हूँ, पुणे जा रहा हूँ अपने घर. That
Ah,
is how
that's it.
you'll say. You have
Yes.
a couple of houses in Maharashtra, a couple of
No, no,
them
no.
here in Delhi and NCR, one in
One.
Uttarakhand.
One in
Huh?
Uttarakhand. That's it. A very few. No, income tax
Yeah.
की road पर आएगा यार. You'll say all of this. So
Nah. I think there's a super chat just to
boundary
before we
for
wrap this
Pujara.
up. But yes, I think two boundaries they've. Rahane has also scored a couple of them. Pujara has scored a couple of boundaries. In fact, there's before we wrap up, Nikhil, there's a super chat from Saurabh Mukherjee. Bangladesh or V, who pulled out, what is V? WE? Who pulled
Or
out the
V.
biggest
Who
win?
pulled out the biggest win? No disregard for that. I think he's talking about the Centurion and the Bangladesh win. And you'd have to say that it is definitely the Bangladesh win for multiple reasons. One, it's their first win on New Zealand soil
On New
across
Zealand
format.
soil.
Not just in test cricket, and to have come against opposition where they've not won a single encounter against them. First test match victory over New Zealand. Remember, New Zealand are the current test champions of the world, and Bangladesh is ranked number 9. So many factors go into the fact that I think it's a bigger win. Also look at the winning streak that New Zealand were on from
New Zealand has
2017 to now. 70 odd matches, they had not lost a test match.
never.
So all of that put together, I think the Bangladesh victory is massive. Yeah, I was thinking of doing a video of top 5 reasons why this is a big win for Bangladesh. Maybe I'll
You
put
should
that video up. Yeah,
you should record it privately, and then
yeah, I'll do that.
and then we can just post product, do some
Singh
post
is saying,
production on
Rahul,
this.
nice
And
sweater, Mr. Singh.
oh, thank you, Ji. Thank you, Singh Saab. And so let's take a break for a while. Hopefully, we'll be back by lunch and not before that.
Yeah, hopefully.
So Pujara
But
is
I think
closing on a 50 then.
lunch tak to no issue. I think we'll meet at lunch. I don't think there will be a collapse before that.
Chalo, let's
John
hope for the
Charles says,
best.
nice discussion. Well done, guys. Thank you, John, for your kind comments.
Thank you.
Chale
Anyways,
ji.
Nikhil, see you at lunch and not
See you
before
then.
that.
Yep. Bye.